So reviewing my instructional design plan. Mine is slightly different because a lot of the purpose for my instructional design is not for students, but in fact for special education teachers at Reading Middle School. What we're looking at is we are looking at developing a professional development on how to create and develop a well thought out, individualized education plan for all of our special education students. Some of the key parts that we're looking at is collecting and analyzing data from multiple sources, our psychoeducational reports, our standardized tests, classroom data, all of that, to be able to find the areas of weakness to then correspond with the teachers to be able to write SMART goals that are specific to students' current needs and determined through analysis of student data. So really looking at what their students need. And once we figure out what those students need to achieve academically, then we're going to look at what accommodations they need to be able to achieve those goals. And then as we move on, we want to see why. Why is this such a key and important information that we need to do right now? So through my need assessments, I discovered that majority of our special education students are not making the academic progress that we would like them to make. A lot of them are failing one or multiple or all of the classes. The other thing that we're discovering is that our standardized Smarter Balanced scores are not seeing any type of increase between the gap between regular education students and special education students. In fact, we're seeing the opposite. The gap is increasing, and more of our special education students are not making progress on any type of standardized test. Then we're looking at the IEPs. So as an education diagnostician and physician that I started last year, I had discovered that all the IEPs were exactly the same. The same goals, the same accommodations from teacher after teacher, year after year. And the point of the IEP is to truly be individualized. And how can we see a change in students' academics and achievement and to decrease the gaps of instruction, decrease the areas of content they don't understand without having a change? So the whole purpose around this instructional plan is to give professional development to those teachers so they can now develop individualized education plans. So with that, there's an instructional strategy that will be put in place. The instructional strategy is called Shout It Out. You may have used it. It's a Smarter Balanced, our Smart Board notebook, extra smart tool that you can find. So on your Smart Board, you have it as a Smart Notebook, and it's called Smart Tool. And then in this Smart Tool, you have a Smart Lab, and you have a variety of different ones. So this one is one that students can take pictures or write responses, anything, and then those responses will then come up on your main screen on the Smart Board. Then you can find that it will set up a class lab. Through this activity, the students can log on to classlab.com, put your teacher code in, and then that's how they upload the pictures onto here. And then you'll see all the pictures right there on your Smartboard screen. You can organize them. You can have them in randomized orders. You can have them in categories. I use this in the fact of my ID plan by having accommodations. And each teacher looking at different sections of information for that student and then adding in all the accommodations they think should be in this model student's IEP, and all of those accommodations were laid out. I then looked at all of the groups, put all the responses, and looked at any of them that were the same or different, or what areas we might be missing, those type of things. So we had that classroom discussion piece with that. And then prior to leaving the classroom, the most popular time that I would use this instructional strategy is for labs. A lot of times you have information that you need to get when it comes to data, and you need the whole classroom. But a lot of times that data is difficult to get you have to ask each individual group. This way they all can just present their data right away and you can start analyzing the classroom data together. The next piece is assessment. How can assessment be done? So I am looking at the students, the teachers in this case, being able to create SMART goals for the students. We will go over SMART goals, and at the end, the teachers will be writing a few SMART goals based off of individualized students that they will possibly have in the next year that they'll write IEPs for. This will get them starting. And I will be evaluating through that a rubric, and they'll be looking through that rubric to see if they truly are the SMART goals that we're looking for. How do I know if it's successful? The key to this is I'm working with adult learners. So they know this will be now part of their job. So with that, the desire and motivation will be there. But there still will be the responsibility for me to check up on to make sure the teachers are creating these IEPs. So a week prior to any IEP meeting, the teachers are expected to turn in and submit their IEPs to me through IEP Plus. I have an IEP checklist and rubrics all attached to that checklist. I will be reviewing all of that with the teachers. In this pre-meeting, with the teachers, that's going to go over, did you analyze all the data? Are they SMART goals? Are these all the accommodations that the students needs based off of all the other data that we've looked at and analyzed? Now there's going to be some teachers that have had more training prior to this that can go through this quite quickly. There's other teachers that will need a little bit more time. This is where I will individualize and give those teachers more time and more instruction if any teachers are not able to go ahead and create these individualized IEPs. So that's what the teachers need to learn. Ultimately, what did I learn through this process? I learned the purpose of need assessments. I learned the components of objectives. I learned instructional strategies and how the goals connect to assessments. This process is long, but when you have a true goal that you're trying to look at, this is the best process to use to get all the components in your lesson that you need.